In this video, we're going to learn how to apply background images to our blocks. So first thing we want to do is head out into the space here with our mouse and click so that we get the block content label appearing. And just make sure that we have that in the styles panel as well. And then we can click background, drop that down, and we're going to head down here to the background image and click on the plus icon. Next, we want to click the images button, and that will bring up our image library pop-up. So we have two options here. We can either upload an image to our library, clicking this button here and selecting from our hard drive, or we can use the Unsplash image library here. And you'll see that I've already searched for Office. I'm going to cancel that and I'm going to search for a nice landscape photo. So we can have a look through the library here, and once we're ready with an image that we like, we can just double click and that will show on our canvas instantly. Now, it's quite common when using background images that the image might be quite light or might be quite busy, and it can be quite hard to read the text and see the button that's standing on top. This one is okay, but still we might want to change this a little bit to make the text appear clearer for us. So what we would do in that case is add a background overlay that you can see down here on the right. So what we can do is click the color swatch here. And the first thing we're going to do is just click around and select a color, and then drag the opacity slider down here. And you'll see as we drag the slider down, this value here will decrease and increase as we slide. And what that value represents is a percentage. So 0.5 being 50% opacity. And so with background overlays, good value to have would be around 0.5 to 0.8 or 50 to 80%. And so we can just leave that around 66 for the moment and then start to find a color that suits with our image and the color scheme of our page. So we can go somewhere here into the blues, and then what you can do is actually pull that into the grays and the blacks if you like, but really any color you like here will work. And so I'll just keep that a little bit blue and say OK, and then you can see the text stands out a bit more, the button stands out a bit more, which is nice. And as we come down our page, we can apply that same background image methodology to any block on our page. So we might come down here to the call to action block, and we've got a nice white box in the center there, so we want that to really pop off the page. So let's go and do the same thing. We'll select background image, click the images button, and pop open our image library. We'll go back to Unsplash. And seeing that we're working with this landscape sort of theme, perhaps it could be a travel website or something like that, we'll keep the same style of images, and we'll double click this one here. And we'll see that load up behind our block. So because we have a white box here with our text, we might leave it nice and bright, or we might want to apply the same background overlay and keep the same sort of style consistent across our page. And there you go, that's quite nice as well. Mutes the photo a little bit so that it's not so bright, keeps our text and our call to action in focus. And we can see if we go up, we've got a similar style happening with the overlay. And that's really quite nice. And then we can come down to our pricing block, and we can do the same thing. So we can select a background image and click the images button and head over to Unsplash again, and this time we might go for the mountains and double click that, and then we have the mountains in the background. And so again, really quite bright, a lot going on. We've lost a little bit of the text here, so we can go to background overlay. And again, I might just choose that same one that we've been using on the page to keep that consistent. We can see here as we go up and down, we've got a consistent style happening no matter what the image is like. And then obviously we can't see the heading and the text here, so we can just click inside the heading there, and we'll click typography, and let's just make that white. And we'll do the same here for the paragraph text underneath. We'll make that white, and we can even drop the opacity there just to make it a little bit more muted against the headline, 75%. And there you go. That's a really nice way to make an engaging page full of color, full of life, but still add that background overlay just to mute those photos a little bit to ensure that your content really takes precedence and is easy to read for the customer.